I say, you too. If it's your first time rocking with the boy, I be the KINGSPR double three. That be me, King Spree. And you locked in with the realest, they tell me. Reporting live from Savannah, Georgia. Decatur where it's crazy, or whatever Lloyd said. Weather about, they say it's about 85 degrees outside, not a cloud in the sky, praise to the Most High. And baby, you've been patiently waiting. That mixtape dropping soon, and I promise you gonna love it. So, I just left the gym. Not that y'all care, but I was in the gym looking at Sports Center, and I finally saw the Ja Morant clip of what he did in the nightclub, showing the what looked to be a gun. So I don't want to say it was, but it looked like it was one, as well as throwing up what looks to be gang signs or some type of hand signs, basically portraying the role of like they shooters and killers. And I don't get it. Now, when I heard Shannon Sharp say Ja Morant's the only, I think he said this, Ja Morant's the only person that's trying to make it out the NBA, or he basically made it seem like that. If he didn't say those exact words, I might have saw that phrase on Instagram. I thought to myself, what did he talk about? And so I finally looked at the video, and I'm thinking now, well, I don't want to go too extra because people make mistakes all the time, right? Like, whether you are at a party, you have a fight, and you get arrested for assault, it looks a lot worse than what actually happened. Whether you went to dinner, had a couple glasses of wine, chose to drive home, and you get pulled over for whatever reason, it looks a lot worse than it actually is, and so on and so on. Like, when you get into when they classify you into the jail system or any type of like activity that was illegal, it looks a lot worse than it actually is. So I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, what's going on? What's the situation at hand? Did he make a mistake? Or now it's hard to believe he made a mistake because, man, you had to, if that is a gun, or even if it's a prop gun, you had to bring that into the nightclub with the sole intention of showing that on IG. Let's not even talk about why the fuck you doing an IG with a gun to begin with. Let's not even talk about why you just don't have security. And I'm sure in that nightclub there's security, so the chances of somebody touching you in that scenario is just very, very slim. But then we got to remember he's a young boy. And he's a young boy that probably got the stigma of being like a hood nigga. And he probably went to a lot of prep schools where he was the only black person there. And sometimes when you're a black man in a situation where there's a lot of white people or a lot of other people that are not you, you double down on the stigma. You kind of feel like, all right, they're going to judge me, I'm going to double down on it. Now, that ain't no excuse. I don't know what the gun laws are in Memphis, or Tennessee, but I mean, some people do feel like they got to protect themselves. Some people that come from that cloth, and that cloth shouldn't be glorified, but some people should have to protect themselves. He's not one of them. Now, I don't know his history. I don't know where he come from. I don't know what he do. I can only go based on what the media is saying. But to make it to the NBA, you had to be good at basketball for a very long time. It's very rare that you just, as soon as you got to high school, you blew up, which means that you were in prep schools and things of that nature for a very long time. Even if you did come from an urban area, usually the hood dudes and the drug dealers and the dudes that really are into criminal activity, the gang dudes, whatever, they protect the dudes they feel like are going to make it out. And if you were playing ball well for a long time, you probably were protected at a high level. So you didn't really have to deal with that lifestyle, and you should not want to have dealt with that lifestyle. It don't make sense to carry a gun in a nightclub, even if you're legally licensed to carry. You're man, you got a chance to make $1 billion on basketball and other activities. You just signed for, what was it, 2 something, high ones, whatever the rookie extension was. You no longer in a situation where you have to worry about getting clipped because you can afford security. You're a high enough profile celebrity that somebody do that to you, it's like one of the biggest deals. So it's not like people out here just gonna be gunning for you, right? Plus, you shouldn't be involved in activities where people of that lifestyle even around. And if your friends are from that lifestyle, bruh, y'all did what y'all had to do to get what y'all had to get, or you did, man, you got to start putting people in line. Now, I know it's easier said than done. Here I am, 36, telling a 22, 23-year-old man what to do with his money and how to live. But it's the same thing with so, okay, let's say you're a ball player, right? And, you play ball, you're athletic, da-da-da-da. You go to Miami because y'all got a back-to-back on Orlando and Miami. You play Orlando, y'all drive to Miami, or y'all, whatever y'all do, fly to Miami, and then you decide to go out the night before the game. Can you go out? Technically, you can. Technically, nobody's stopping you. Technically, you probably shouldn't. I'm sure there's team suggestions not to do it, but you choose to do it. Next day, you have a horrible night, a horrible day, a horrible game. Most people are going to say you were not responsible enough because you went out if they find out that information. Well, same thing with the nightclub and bringing a gun or even whatever it might be. One, you probably shouldn't even be like, when it's in season, you probably shouldn't even be getting down like that as far as going out. Just because you a top dude. Like, you can have a good time on a Saturday, drink some wine, whatever, but you a top dude. Now, once again, easier for me to say because I'm not 22, 23 years old, prime of my life, making money that I can only dream about, having girls and drinks and all my friends around. Maybe I would do that as far as the partying part if I was in that life. So I don't want to judge too hard. But the gun thing is there's no exception for that. Especially when, like, that's one reason why I don't own a gun. Like, I don't know the rules when it comes to where you go, what state border you cross, what county border you cross. If you were to get step 2 and you pop somebody, what are your consequences? You know what I'm saying? If you do reach in the glove compartment or pop the trunk on somebody and it got to the point where you had to shoot, what are the consequences for you? And something tells me that once you start opening that door, man, they're going to throw the book at you, even if you were in the right, even if the person was attacking you, whatever. So I digress. What I'm saying is, like, there's not too many scenarios, in my opinion, where you need to strap, but especially as a celebrity. Now, I know gun laws and gun topics are a very controversial topic. I'm not saying somebody shouldn't have one. You do what you got to do. But I do also know there are consequences for pulling that trigger. There are consequences for shooting somebody, even if it was in self-defense. Then not to mention, imagine popping somebody, you got to go to trial, and then they find you guilty on whatever the charge is, and now you got to spend time. And you literally were just protecting your household, or protecting yourself, or protecting whatever. Man, what the fuck, man? And that's what's so scary. Imagine, not shooting somebody, Tory Lane situation, and having to go to jail because the stories just didn't add up, and now they got you serving time. And not everybody got enough money to pay great lawyers to defend them. Some people just got to take the charge and then spend the next 5 to 10 years, or whatever the number is, for something that they didn't do. Now, once again, I don't know his situation. I'm really just talking, making a think piece. But the reality is, man, when it comes to, back to my original point, when it comes to being what you're not, and a lot of people, man, the gram is a drug like none other. Attention is a drug like none other. It might be the literal worst drug ever. And we didn't realize it until about 2009, 2010. Attention is a drug like none other. People are doing so much stuff for attention. But in his case, I don't get it, because you are that already. You're not faking it. You are a celebrity. You do make a lot of money. You are one of the top guys walking around. You don't got to live that life. But then again, once again, that's me at 36, never having experienced any of that celebrity. Who knows what I would have done? But I wouldn't have brought a gun to the club. I would like that. Unfortunately, gun laws, for example, in New York City, Lil Wayne had a situation with a gun that he had to go to jail for 9 months. I don't know the exact details, but my point I'm making is that if Lil Wayne, at the height of his career, has to go sit down in a cell somewhere because of a gun situation, and it wasn't like he shot somebody, he just had the gun on him, man, these are big problems. So hopefully Ja don't have to go to jail, and hopefully he's able to, get through what he's going through. And hopefully he learned a lesson, man. Sometimes, you can't bring everybody with you. And if these knuckleheads are knuckleheads, They gotta clear it, bro. You no longer that kid from, I don't know where he's from, but that kid from Mississippi or that kid from wherever. You now are a national figure and possibly global, depending on how Nike and everybody else wants to market you. You could be the next big thing. You're already ascending, but you and Jason Tatum are probably, in the category for top American-born players in the NBA right now. LeBron, of course, but you get what I'm trying to say. To blow that, and sometimes you're not blowing that in one shot. So let's say you get found not guilty or nothing happens, no criminal investigation, everything's done. Just the stigma associated with it sometimes could be a blowback. Because when kids are buying shoes, it's not the kids buying the shoes, it's the parents buying the shoes. And what if the parents don't like how you're portrayed? You got a large percentage of these soccer moms and housewives that see this, and they didn't even know who you were prior to their kids saying your name in one of the shoes, and now seeing this clip, and they decide, no, we're not supporting that. That's a big deal. You saw Kyrie got dropped for something that, just posting a link. Imagine in your situation where there's hard evidence against you for portraying something that, even if you are a killer, why would you want to tell people? Like, even if you are Tony Soprano in this motherfucker, you Ghost from Power, why would you want to tell people? The ones that really live that life, which I'm not cut for that life, but the ones that really live that life, they don't advertise it. They want to be discreet. They don't want any person you see. It's like the president. The president don't run the country. There's the people behind him that we have no idea about. You got to move in silence. Real G's move in silence, like lasagna or whatever Wayne said. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Man, like the video. Subscribe to the kingdom. We at 152. We climbing up to 200. Trying to get 1,000 by the end of the year. For those that give a fuck, go ahead and put a like on here. For those that don't give a fuck, go ahead and put a dislike on there. Go ahead and leave a comment. What y'all think, man? You think Ja Morant fucked up? They calling him all kind of names. Ja Warrant. Ja Wick is crazy funny. I was, God, dog. Ja, some other stuff. But Ja Wick is crazy. Ja Wick is crazy. I'm more than certain somebody's gonna do a Halloween costume of Ja Morant with a toy gun. The game's crazy. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. This has been a message brought to you by the good people over here at Spree NT. It's gonna make sense real soon.